All right, roll call, Miss Amanda. Miss Abrams? Miss Abrams? Here. Mr. Anthony? Here. Miss Dominguez?
Present.
Mr. Duncan?
Here.
Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Piazza?
Here.
Miss Richards?
Present.
Mr. Toller? Mr. Westmoreland?
Pledge of allegiance, everybody please stand. Mr. Toller, will you acknowledge?
Either way, it's fine.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're going to move on to 2, new projects. Consider approval of the design of Martha Vineyard Elementary School.
Okay.
Mr. Jeff?
Hi, let me update on this just a little bit. So I had Mr. Muse get a quote for getting an awning there. When it was going through the process where the board members review it, Mr. Piazza reached out and said, hey, can we look at doing something there that actually matches the building? So we put on the agenda to consider approval for the design of these awnings. In the process of reaching out to Pierre, we found out that that had actually been done. The designs are already done. So I asked him to come tonight to present you with the designs, and then we'll need to make a decision, maybe not tonight, but we'll need to make a decision as a board. Do we want to go with the $11,000 that was the aluminum awnings, or do we want to go with the $285,000 or so that will match the building? So,
I don't want, okay, can he just give us an?
he's gonna show you the.
Totally not getting why it would be that much money.
Well, I guess I should say, I don't know what the scope and size of the one that they got a quote on for 11,000.
It was just regular aluminum awning with the metal pole.
And it was the
but
short
how
ones,
long?
I'm guessing. Like
don't
the
know.
normal 6 foot, whatever they were.
Does it match the length of what we're doing?
Yeah, that's the length.
Line, not bus level, just a
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we, let's see, in 2022, we were asked to do a design to replace the wood frame and concrete block structured canopies that were there before. They basically got blown over from Ida. So if you stay right there, that's a good spot. So we did that. We completed the construction drawings. We were ready to go out to bid, and then previous canceled the whole thing. So we had done a cost estimate at that time. It was $234,000, something like that. So we're estimating with today's dollars, 3 years later, you're around 285, 290, something like that. But you know, the design matches the existing school architecture. It's got, I think it's 16 by 16 concrete block columns, which is what was there before. Some wood beams, wood rafters, shingle roof. So.
Yeah, how old is Martha Vineyard, do you know?
Old.
It's like a 60s, one of the 60s?
Yeah,
era?
it's a John Desmond design.
It's from the 1960s.
I think so, yeah. Maybe late 60s. It actually won a national AIA design award way back when.
Way back. Oh,
I
wow.
believe that, yeah.
And
So,
is there
it's
any
got a
way,
history.
I know we were kind of judging this off of the original material as well. Is there any material that we could maybe substitute to still give it kind of the same look, but cut down on the cost? No?
Wood.
Yeah. I'm saying, like, I know we're using solid concrete, I'm assuming the blocks.
Using concrete blocks.
Could you use like brick veneer and make it,
No, that wouldn't, that would probably add cost, I would say.
okay.
I guess
Because my only concern and why I wanted them to bring this to the board, it's kind of similar to what we looked at Kentwood. You know, we want to match as much as we can when it's a big part of the campus. If this was the back of the campus where nobody's going to see, completely understand. I think with the way those metal ones look, it's going to clash with the old school way of how the building was designed. And that was my only argument there.
There is still some of the old shingle roof canopies out there that
Right.
didn't blow down. It's like all the way off to the
And that's what I'm
south
saying,
end.
if we're connecting them with the metal, it's gonna be really wonky looking in the very front of your campus. And that was the only reason why I wanted the board to get it presented and say, hey, look, you know, this is a historical type campus similar to Kentwood and similar to some of the older buildings. It's putting it back to where it was before the storm.
Yeah.
And I know we should have gotten some form of insurance money for that as well.
You got a question, Tom?
Well, just, look, I'm not going to argue either way. I'll just make this as clear as I can make it. At Kentwood, that historical building is surrounded by white metal awnings. Sumner, that has a front walk that comes out, that's the same thing, that has the wood trusses, shingle roof. On the main, which was built in the 80s or the late 70s, all the new awnings that we put around there have all been metal awnings. So I get what you're saying, but trying to be consistent across the school board, across the school system, we've been doing white awnings everywhere.
Well, what I'm saying though, it didn't have, on the Kentwood one, you didn't have existing awnings attached to metal awnings, do we?
Look on the side,
Yeah.
look on the side, connecting the two-story
two-story
building with the
is just-
gym, all that is white metal awnings that's connected to our existing building, so.
And I'll tell you, Joe, for me, if I felt like we were going to still be in Martha Vineyard 15 to 20 years from now, maybe I would be open to a $200,000, $300,000 expenditure. But that building is already, so what's the math there? We're 60 years old, I think?
Oh, a little older.
Yeah, 60 years old. I mean, a board in the near future needs to be looking at a new campus for Martha Vineyard, a new campus for Perrin. We just need to get them some awnings to get them to that point, would be my thought.
And that's why I brought it to the board. Look, it's a big decision. It shouldn't fall just on us.
All right, Ms. James?
Okay, being consistent across, what kind of item are we looking at O.W. Dillon? Something to match star? Metal, the same metal?
But that campus at O.W. Dillon is a
It's
brand new
newer,
campus.
that's what I was asking.
And it's going to be,
Ms. Rose?
Further down in the pictures, is there a front of the?
Yeah,
Okay, could you?
wait, I think up, yeah, further.
I think the problem
Right there,
is,
right there.
it's in front of the campus.
Can you go up a little more, Miss Amanda?
Well, he's-
They got a picture of it in the front. Keep going.
The front of the campus is it's there, and then the middle section got tore
Right here.
down, and then further down,
There's some.
there is the roof line again. So it's kind of, what happened, it just fell in the middle, so that was the thing.
Scroll up a little bit. I'm sorry, the other way. That right there.
It just looks weird,
Right there.
it just looks weird because there's
got a
still
plush
part of
bed
the
here.
existing.
And the office here.
But that's a lot of money. I just had no idea it would be that much money. If it was me and my campus, I would just as soon get something less and use that money to buy something better that you really need worse, myself.
right,
Even though I
let's-
hate for it to look different, but is there any way that you could
Go ahead, Trent.
put up, like, not a flat, is it awning, could you put the metal awning price you got, like, more at an angle or something, instead of it being just
taller?
flat? So it's like a roof point and then a flat and then a roof point?
They do.
Yeah, it's a gable.
They
I
do,
mean.
they do sell it, they do make it like that.
Never done one. I'd have to look into it.
I mean, I don't know if that make a difference since it's shingles and then it would be metal.
I mean, it
In
would
other
be
words, it's
more
shingle
expensive
and then
than-
it'd be metal and then it'll be shingle again, flat in the middle. I don't
No,
know.
it would be metal. They only do metal roofs.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I just can't hardly.
Mr. McNeil, did we not get paid to have this stuff done via insurance following Ida, or do you know?
Answering a question without having the answer, it's probably fallen under the deductible. That's our money. So there isn't money that, is sitting there to pay this out of insurance.
we had a
I'd like
per
from the-
campus deductible.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there was a 5% value of the entire campus deductible at each site, which was a lot.
All right, any more questions? We'll call for a vote.
What are we voting on?
We have-
I don't think any action needs to be taken. I mean, we heard, and so what we'll do is we'll resend the DocuSign on Mr. Muse's proposal for awnings and go from there. This was approval to design, and when we put it on I didn't know that it had already been designed in 2022.
So we don't need to approve okay. No vote.
It does
No
look
action.
good, though. I'll give you
I
that.
was gonna say, it would look a lot better.
Looks real pretty.
Yeah. All right, moving up to project updates. Champ Cooper Phase 2 update. Pierre?
Yep. So we have a drawing. Okay, so as you know, the carpool line has been a major challenge at this site. So after having a couple of meetings with DOTD, as well as Theron and Jeff and all of us putting our heads together, we came up with an alternative carpool layout. If you remember, the previous carpool sort of ran everything right in front along the highway. Also, in doing that, there were a lot of, I guess, driveway connections to the highway that DOTD gave us a lot of grief about. So in this option, the idea is to enter at a new driveway that's on the school's property, not on the fire station's property, all the way to the south, which is on the right side of the page. Enter there, which all of that area has already been mitigated. It was wetlands. Run a 4-lane carpool section on that diagonal, and then a road that extends towards the back, and then keeps going for the lower school where the blue arrows are, and then drops down to where the red arrows are for the upper school, and drops off at the Phase 2 building.
Rob?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you're gonna, whenever they come here to come out, to exit with, like you said, with DOTD.
They all would go
So is
back.
this gonna be just a single lane? They're gonna still, the upper and the lower will merge into one lane?
Right.
Can it be wider?
Yes.
That was my
I mean, could we
question.
make it a double, 2-lane out, 2-lane?
Well, we got to work with DOTD on that, but I'm sure that there's something that can be done. If you do that, one side's going to only be able to go right, and one will only be able to go left, right? So,
Well, the difference in the time zone, though, is the elementary comes after the middle. So
Right.
the middle would be out, Joey,
Right.
already. He's saying that he thinks it's gonna bother.
I'm just worried about bottlenecking
But
right there.
if you're only doing one.
that was the whole reason to separate them, was to try to get the lower school out and done
Yeah,
before.
they come out at different times anyway, but right now, they're at the very end of one and the beginning of the other when it's more cars. But, I
Right.
mean, I think that this particular way is a lot better, and it gets more cars, because right now, there's so many cars that are backing up into the front of the fire trucks.
Yeah.
I mean, we're having trouble with that.
Right.
So we cannot keep going into the fire department parking lot.
Right.
And that brings me to, there's 2 questions I had on this drawing that I just wanted to work through. I know we're limited on space at this facility, which is why we decided to do what we did with the design. By building the road and kind of splitting that land, does that cut us off? I know you see future classroom wing option.
Right.
Does that limit us on how big that building's going to be able to be in case we need it to be bigger?
Well, in this phase, that red rectangle occupies the amount of square footage that we need. So we're not, I just located the road where it needed to be. So
Right.
for this phase, it's fine, it fits. In future phases, it would matter as to whether or not you care if there's a road going through. I mean, there are other sites, Lauranger, I believe, has the same condition, where you basically close all of that off during the day, so there's no traffic.
My question would, instead of putting it in the front, would you put it in the back, so that way you can judge where that road's gonna be, and then you could just mirror it in the front later for phase 4 or
Talking about the
phase-
building?
Well, the original diagram, they were all parallel to each other, just
Right.
like in Sumner, this
Right.
1 wing and 2 wings and 3 wings.
Which I like this better.
This is a different way, and you still got your same square footage that you had originally, right?
Right,
Just switched it from long ways to
Right.
sideways.
right.
And then if you have the road there, the deal is, we're trying to keep the little kids on one side of the campus and the big kids on the other side of the campus. And so you
It
really
makes,
have
from
to
a
have
planning standpoint, it makes better sense to put it up front, like where it is.
Yeah.
Because that's a logical connection point right there.
Yeah.
There's not a real good spot towards the back. You'd have to
Yeah.
canopy it and go around the back.
Like I said, I like what you're doing there, because eventually it's going to mirror, kind of like, I think a punch a little high, or Hammond High, where it's long in the front, then it U's, and you have
Right.
the space in between. I just want to make sure that for future growth, because I would assume if we're going to do another wing, it would go where right across from the road. Like, I wouldn't think it would
Yeah.
go back.
It could go either one. you know,
Yeah, I
that's
just
why
want to make
just
sure that the
showed-
space, we don't bottleneck it
Right.
to where future boards say, hey, we want to build one here. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I only got so much square footage now because we have a road
Right.
here, and I don't want to redo this road.
Right.
But that, yeah, like I said, I like it how it looks here, because it's gonna, if you keep adding to it, it makes it one single campus.
Yep.
I had another question here. So on the attachments that we got, there were 3 different
Cost studies. Right.
cost studies. Can we talk about that for a second?
That's what I was getting up for. So I know when you look at those cost studies, there's some big numbers on there, but understand that the cost study includes $2.4 million for the roadway to all be concrete. That roadway's, it doesn't need to be concrete to have a stack lane in the back. And I feel like I can do the same thing that I did at O.W. Dillon, and we may only have to pay materials. So that's going to save. And then there's a $500,000. If you see on the design, there's a small addition to the Phase 1 kitchen, and that's being asked by Ms. Kendra, because they're needing another cooking kitchen there. And so Pierre had looked into that, and the $500,000 estimated cost includes the equipment and everything. So that's kind of separate and apart from Phase 2, but kind of all in here at the same time. So the actual building cost for what you're looking at would be $4.6 million for one story.
But that's what
If we built the second floor, built it out, didn't finish it, but had it basically shell, it would be another $2.1 million, which would be about $6.7 million for the building. And if we completely finished it out and did 20 classrooms, 10 on the first floor, 10 on the second floor, it would be $9.1 million.
So that's what I was trying to get y'all to tell me is so I've got feasibility option B that I'm looking at, which says 2-story classroom building with shell space. So that's the option you were talking about. Second floor shell, but we've got it built there. And then you got feasibility option A, 1-story classroom building, that's no shell up top, right?
Right.
But it's still that site plan that we're looking at.
Right.
Okay, and then there was a third one, that was the one where we built the whole 20 classroom addition, just go ahead and get it done. And that was an additional $2 million over the shell option.
Right. So basically, it'd be $4.6 million for 1 story, and it would be $9.1 million for 2 stories finished out. So it's basically double.
And then the road option, the high end is, you said
2.4.
Right.
but you think we can come up with a less expensive way to do it?
Where you drop off, where the dumpsters are, you want to do that.
But that issue is the same regardless of
Right.
the other stuff. The differences were 1-story, 2-story but not built out, or full 2-story.
Mr. Piaz had asked about the 2-story option, so we just wanted to come and bring it. I don't think we're asking for any action tonight. We're just giving you this information. Certainly, we'll have a time to discuss
What our
it.
target number was in the Phase 2 planning,
I think it was about 4.6.
4.6?
So we're,
Just for the building.
For the
For the
Phase 2, and then there was going to be a Phase 3. In this sense, it would be all one building instead of 2 separate buildings.
that would be the question at the retreat, maybe to talk about, do we take Phase 2 and Phase 3 and make it one building? Because I'm not an educator, but I wouldn't want people finishing out a second floor of a building while I was trying to teach on the first floor.
Could you, since you're here, I've heard, I think you've told me different times that building a 2-story building, does a 2-story building actually save us money versus a 1-story building, or is it a 1-story building that saves us money? Like if I was doing a 1-story, 20 classroom.
Yeah, I don't think you save money either way. It's just
It's space.
times 2.
It's
yeah.
the space.
The other issue out there is, does the water system support infrastructure
Yeah.
for a two-story building. And it's
Well,
going to be known.
I got some info on that. So phase one, we did not sprinkler. Of course, at the time, there was no water pressure, and there was promise of a water tower to be built, but it wouldn't, it wasn't going to be done before we finished phase one. So we didn't sprinkler it. And when you do that, you got to compartmentalize the building into 12,000 square foot chunks, which we have some firewalls throughout there. Coincidentally, this footprint is about 12,000 square feet. So they did build a water tower, but then they built a whole bunch more houses that swallowed up all that capacity. So we're back where we were again. I don't think we're gonna sprinkle it at school. It's just not gonna work.
And just so everybody understands why I wanted to look at the two-story option is, one, it's landlocked. We can't keep adding one-story buildings on this property because you don't have a lot of property to build on. And every time we build something here, it is full as soon as you put, they're still out of room right now, and we just finished phase one wing, which is a big building. If you put another building, you're going to have to immediately follow right behind that and put another one, and put another one, and put another one, just to catch up with the growth over there. If you did the two, you cut down on having to do a whole nother phase, and it captures a lot more space. You can utilize the space.
You understand our concern?
Oh, yeah, I completely get it. But you got,
What is
What is the growth of Chem Cooper? How much has the population increased there as far as students are concerned? Because the last time I was there, the last time I was there, there was not a classroom there that was overcrowded. In fact, some of the classrooms had 16, 13, even some of them had like 7 children in a class. I'm looking for the evidence that we're actually overcrowded. That for one thing, and
So
the
that's
next
part of the
thing is-
presentation at our retreat. We will have all the, we'll have all the
Okay,
10-year
right,
growth and all those
please,
numbers.
Please. And the other thing is this. What is the maximum population for a classroom before we consider that it's overcrowded? Because at our most successful school, academically, which is Southeastern Lab School, 32 is the limit. If I'm not mistaken, 32 is the number of children that we allow in each one of those classrooms.
Depends on the grade.
Yeah.
So for me, 32 kind of signifies a limit for a classroom. Where is the evidence that our classrooms are overcrowded? Where's the evidence that 24 new classrooms are needed in the near future? It looks like we're building another school right here on the same campus. And when I look at it, and I look at the elaborate driveway system, and I look at the parking there, and I think about the teachers over at Greenville Park Academy having to walk across the street from a gravel parkway where everybody parks, when we could have poured parking on that campus where we're parking buses at right now. We could have poured a much safer parking lot for our teachers to enter into the building and to go to their cars, a much more protected area.
Mr. Jerry, I don't want to stop you, but I just want to tell you, this is exactly what we're going to cover in the retreat, and we have all the data, all the slides to show the projected growth, expected growth, history of growth or decline of the schools. So we're going to get into that heavy at that retreat.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Tom. And because I agree, right, that we need to make provisions for, if we can foresee this, I agree that we need to make provisions for it. But what my contention is, and what bothers me, is that when I go on these campuses and I see that the work that needs to be done, the maintenance on some of these campuses that needs to be appropriated, it's not happening. I'm not seeing it. All I'm hearing about is new construction. And for me, new construction is fine, but let's take care of what's there. Let's make our campuses safe and
I think you're going to appreciate next Wednesday? Next Wednesday, we're going to give you a report on the assessments and what's been done on those. I think there's more repairs are being done that's being communicated, so we're going to make sure we do a better job of communicating what's being done, what's in the hopper. But yes, you are right. We need to work on making sure what we have meets the standards that the board has regarding bathrooms and lighting and air conditioning, electrical, all of those things we're working on simultaneously while we're also, it's basically two different divisions. Their handles our construction side, and the guy over there, what's your name? Charlie. Charlie handles the maintenance side, and I make sure they communicate so that we don't step over each other, but both of those streams are flowing right now, and I think you're going to see a lot of improvement.
All right, but you understand that, I appreciate your point, but you understand that what's being presented to me is not that, right? What's being presented right now is future needs,
Right.
you know?
And I'll say it again, one of the items on our agenda is the balance between taking care of our stuff and growing new schools. So there's going to be a lot of discussion that day on the balance between remodeling or replacing versus building for growth. So you're dead on, but I think it's just a better time to have it.
And I'll add one more point that's related to Champ Cooper specifically. At some point, a campus is too
Enough.
big.
Yeah.
It's time to talk about a separate campus,
At some
especially
point,
at an
let the
elementary.
road support it.
Yeah, I think this campus already can house about 850 students or somewhere about.
No, they're at 1,100. It was built for 5, they're at
So
1,100.
before we even add this additional wing, we're at 1,100, but my
Same
understanding was
thing as
that.
like West Side and Hammond,
And-
Right.
east
So-
side.
Yeah, and this wing will not add capacity. This wing is to get rid of portables
The portables.
that are already.
So
being used.
adding 3 more buildings or a second story, you're talking about a campus that could house
2,000.
2,000. Do we really want an elementary school that's 2,000 kids? Or do
Well,
we
the
want
thing
to?
is-
I mean, we got
but
2,000
the thing
kids,
is,
then, you
the
know, so
houses
be
are
it.
there.
But we might want to do a separate campus.
But the thing is, y'all, the houses are there.
and coming more. You have more.
Once again, we're
No,
getting
so-
into retreat.
Once again, we're going to talk about this at our retreat,
And we
so
do
let's
have
move
another,
on.
we do have another committee meeting and another
Yeah,
presentation,
let's move
so.
on from this. Jeff, we're going to move on to B, the
Okay,
CSRS
I'm gonna let
update.
Peter- Ms. McKenzie?
Good topics, though. Y'all are getting all up in next Wednesday.
I hope you got this retreat coming all day, baby.
We're gonna talk
It's
about
gonna be a long retreat.
Half a day.
Might be a whole day.
Well, we've got 2 hotel nights, so it'll be 3
That's
full
great.
weekend.
I'm
full
good with
weekend.
it.
This is Ms. McKenzie with CSRS, and she's here to show something exciting that y'all will be receiving an email on for tomorrow, so.
Good afternoon. As he said, my name is Mackenzie McDavid. I am with CSRS. We are basically doing professional services for your district. We wanted to take the time to develop a software that will allow you to be able to keep update with our programs, the things that we're doing for your district. So this is called Power BI. Essentially, there's a platform that I input information into as one of the project managers on the program, and it updates 5 times throughout the day. So it starts at 9 a.m. and ends at 11. There are 5 slots throughout the day where this software updates to give you information. So we've built this portion out specifically for you. As he mentioned, tomorrow you will get an email giving you access. So I want to walk you through exactly what the software does. It's really simple, but we think it'll be really beneficial to answer some questions that you have throughout a weekly basis. So at the very,
I'm sorry, this is phase 2 projects, right?
this is everything, phase 2, electrical emergencies, as well as the tracks.
Okay. Thank you.
You're fine. So, it may be me clicking. I might not be able to use the clicker.
Oh, it's letting you click, okay.
Yeah, it's me. Okay, so I'll just call it out to you. In the very middle, we have a location map, and it has client projects color-coded. So we have the lighter blue is electrical emergency. We have the darker blue as field tracks, and then phase 2 are the orange blocks. To the bottom of your screen, you have your schools listed out. If you hover over any of the options, you can hover over any of them, one of the blocks, there will be a pop-up that lets you know the phase type, exactly what kind of project you're dealing with, the location, and as well as the stage and who the project belongs to as far as architectural status. Then we have to the right, if you would click on, and you can do independence leadership. Thank you. At the very bottom, you can click on any of the schools, but you can just click on one of those. So this is, can I see, Lucille Neeson. Yep, that's an 8 classroom edition phase 2 project. You can do the same thing with this blob. You will hover over it. To the right, you have your latest notes. So it tells you everything we've done as of recent. I update this weekly since we've built this dashboard for you. It tells you the upcoming items that we have, the things we did in the past weeks to make sure that we're keeping the projects on track. To the left is a budget. The number looks a little bit large, but I'll share why. We are all encompassing. So we are showing your construction budget, which is court approved. We're showing your AE fees and all of your soft costs. So these are projected numbers, which include FF&E, IT. We kind of did a study to determine, based off of other projects that we've done in the past, how much these things are projected to cost, comparing some of the information that Theron has provided on what you spent in the past with your previous schools to be able to determine where we could fall in line. There's always room to pull back, but we want to show what we're expecting at the maximum something to be for each of your projects. Beneath that, we have key submittals. So these are all your high-level key submittal dates, so you'll know when submittal dates are due. Design development, schematic design, when we're going out to bid for these projects, it just gives you a high level. And like I said, this updates 5 times throughout the day, every single day. So if I update something throughout the day, you can constantly look and check, and it's kind of your platform to use as you will.
Any questions? Go ahead, Trey.
Is this going to be for the public as well, or is just only?
No,
for the
sir,
board?
just the board.
Okay. Why is it not for the public? Anybody want to answer? Tell us maybe why we couldn't share this directly with the public.
The network that is on is a secure network, so you have to have access to it. I don't think y'all can just open that up to
We
the-
can't open it.
But he is right. You can share it. If you want to do a screenshot and give, right, it's public
At the
information.
very top, you can hit export, and it'll allow you to export from PowerPoint or share. I would export probably from PowerPoint because they give you slides and you can do live updates, or you can export from a Word document or an Excel document. Excel kind of works where you can merge them, and as you make updates here, if you're online on Excel, it'll still show some of the updates that you're making or have been made.
And follow-up question, how will we access this? Will this be on the app? Will it be?
It'll be a
via
link. So
email?
there is an app that's involved with Power BI. So what we've worked through is getting you guys licensed to be able to use the app. So I provided your emails. So you'll get an email link. It'll open up, right before she saw it, it'll open up like a page that says, put your email in, your password, and then it'll pop up on your screen as a browser.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
2 things. One, thank you for this. As somebody who has been wanting this kind of stuff for a while, this is perfect because it gives you a whole bunch of information about each. That is our biggest complaint, I think, on this board is where are we in this? Where are we with this? Where are we this? Where are we? This kind of gives us full access to our project, so I really enjoy that. Is there, and I'm seeing here key submittals, is there like also where we are on our timeline? Like if we're behind on a project, if we're on time on a project, expected completion date? Like, is there anything we could plug into that too?
We can add dates. This is kind of build how you want to. So we just kind of did a test of things that we normally want to show, but we can build it out. I think as the projects get further along, we have the dates, but once we get a contractor on board for these projects, we'll have a more detailed breakout of what's going on the construction side. But this is just the high-level dates, but I can add information.
In the past, that's been one of our pet peeves is like, well, we're stalled on a project or we're behind on a project and we didn't know. If we're going to put everything in here, it would be helpful for us to be able to see it and go, okay, well, yeah, we're behind on this project because it was supposed to be posted on this day.
Yes, we can do that.
All of these projects right now are in design phase.
Right.
So once they go to construction, it
We
will
can do those
have the, it will
updates.
have the construction information as well.
Perfect.
There is an example. I'll show you if we look at one of the electrical, can you pull up AMET?
Because I know the biggest question we get is when can I put kids in them?
Elementary,
AMET.
electrical school.
I see.
Yep. If you look at the very top right, the most recent update, this will kind of help you as well. I made sure to put some updates today to bring you as close to where we are now. We have this project, it's out of our court. It's in literally the court's stage of approval. So it's to let you know that if there is a lag, these are all the things underneath that we're planning so that once we get approval, we're able to jump right in. There's no holding, so we already kind of set in place our pre-construction meeting. We have a couple things that are in way as we pin. So if there's some things that you're looking to see, a project hasn't moved because of the date, the updates here will continuously tell you what we're doing. And if there is no movement due to a stall like court approval, you'll be able to see the updates there.
Because I know, I probably could speak for some of these guys, the biggest question I always get is when can I put kids in it? When's the date? When's the date? When are we going to be able to do it? If I could say, oh, well, it looks like it's projected to be.
We can do that.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Any other questions, Tom?
Yeah, quick question. Are we going to talk about money, or are we going to talk about what the contract between us and CSRS, or are they billing us by the hour, or y'all? Because I guess my question is, you take one of these projects, for instance, and if Holly and Smith, for instance, is doing the job, we're going to pay them a state rate of what, 8% probably in that neighborhood? So we're going to pay an architect 8% of the project. Is CSRS also going to do compliance reports and follow through on the construction? Or now we're paying two different companies to do?
So what CSRS is doing is stepping in as basically an owner's rep. So they're our project managers instead of having in-house project managers.
Right.
So each thing they do is based on a task order that has a not to exceed, and we'll be giving you that Wednesday.
Okay,
I thought I was going to have them tonight, and we're still updating a couple of the numbers.
I'm just
So
curious
you'll see how much is out there as executed task orders, how much we've paid so far since they've started, so you'll have all that information.
Good.
And I may can email it to you tomorrow, to all of you, but I didn't quite get it finished.
I'm just
today.
curious, I'm trying to balance in my head between having in-house project managers versus outsourcing. I'm impressed with this so far, and I'm not against anything, but just fiscally, we got to look at, okay, what is this actually costing us to have another layer of somebody working on stuff?
Any other questions? All right, if that is it, we're
Thank
gonna.
you, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
We're gonna adjourn this meeting.
Good.
On how to get the